hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestlers Debate and to another edition of AEW Dynamite Out of 10. And yeah, it's a big show today. Full Gear is really creeping up on us. Yeah, is it next weekend I think it is? So yeah, not long until now, until we get to the big show. And yeah, there's lots going on in the show, so let's get straight into it. And we kick things off with FTR New Planes versus Swerve and Our Glory in the Gun Club. Gunn attacked Swerve before the match even started and he got us ejected. Harwood and Colton were then started the match. Colton shoved Harwood into the corner, hit a drop cut, but Austin Gunn was tagged in. Harwood then got the advantage of a shoulder tackle and pushed Austin to the corner. All four faces got some cheap shots on Austin. Swerve and Cash Wheeler then tagged in. Swerve got the upper hand, but Wheeler hit a backbreaker. Max Caster and Keith Lee were illegal men. Caster hit a super kick before a brawl broke out between all 8 of them. The babyfaces emerged on top of the melee, but as the match got under control, Swerve applied a headlock on Harwood before the latter hit a German suplex. Burns was then tagged in, and both are members of the Gun Club. Burns hit a Famouser and Colton, but Gun Club hit a big rig for a 2 count on the acclaimed member. Another brawl broke out before Dax Harwood took all 8 men out with a suplex. Towards the end, Anthony took out Colton Guns and Max Caster followed out with a mic drop. FTR then hit Big Rig on Austin to take him out of the equation. The acclaimed pinned Colton to pick up the victory in a really fun match to kick off the show. And yeah, gets 7 out of 10 for me. I think the babyfaces winning this one was the right decision. And yeah, just a really fun match here. The acclaimed getting the victory, obviously building their momentum ahead of Full Gear. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Next up on Dynamite, MJF was out and said that wrestling fans don't understand what's important in pro wrestling and hyped up the upcoming world title match. He called it the crowning of the new face of the generation. He name-dropped Cena, The Rock and multiple WWE Hall of Famers and compared them to him. MJF said that Moxley might be a piece of shit, but he respected him. He called Mox the best wrestler, but vowed to end his title reign at Full Gear. The Soul of the Earth then talked about getting overshadowed multiple times and how that would end at Full Gear later this month. And yeah, another really great promo from MJF, as has become, well, really the norm now, hasn't it? Yeah, just a really good promo, and yeah, can't wait to see what MJF and Moxley are going to pull out at Full Gear, because I know it's going to be class, and yeah, I think it's going to be the start of the MJF title reign. It's just going to be great. But anyway, moving on then to Ethan Page versus Eddie Kingston. Both men squared off before Kingston overpowered Page. After a brief back and forth between the two stars, Page then got the elbow with an elbow strike from the middle rope. Kingston tried to make a comeback with a kick to the midsection. Page stopped him and hit a suplex at ringside. Kingston fought back with Chelts on Page in the corner, but the latter hit a running powerbomb for a 2 count. He continued to wear down Kingston as the match progressed. Eddie then hit a suplex of his own to get 2 count. The two stars exchanged heavy strikes in the middle, and Kingston got the upper hand by heading a DDT for a 2 count. He then hit an exploder suplex and followed up with a stretch palm. Ethan Page topped out, but Stokely halfway had the ref distracted. Page had a roundhouse kick to Rock Kingston and moved to the top turnbuckle. Kingston followed up, and after a back and forth, Page hit the Avalanche Ego Edge to pick up the win over Kingston. And yeah, big win for Kingston, really good win for him. Eddie kind of also got the tap out there, so I guess they're trying to even it out. But yeah, that's a 6 out of 10 for me. Don't know, just kind of felt a bit complicated, but you know, the match was really decent. So yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Up on Dynamite, it was a TNT title match between Wardlow and Ori Daivari. Wardlow kicked out Daivari's butler early on. He then hit a headbutt and followed up with Lariat on Daivari. Mr Mayhem then unleashed 4 powerbomb symphonies to comfortably retain his title. That's kind of expected. But post-match, Wardlow called out Powerhouse Hobbs and said he finally had a worthy challenger. He vowed to win every title in the company before Samoa Joe attacked him from behind with the title belt. Joe choked out Mr Mayhem and he had a verbal altercation with Hobbs to end the segment. So Samoa Joe is now a heel and Wardlow is over. Yeah, to be honest, I'm low-key pleased about this, to be honest. Gets a 7 out of 10 from me. I don't know, I just felt like they were better apart. Maybe I'll have a few, maybe not over unify the 2 title belts if ROH becomes the same. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But yeah, just so happy about that. And adds an extra dimension with Powerhouse Hubs there as well. So yeah, this is a really good thing. And Patata injection of life, the TNT belt needed. Before Saraya announced during a segment that she had been medically cleared for in-ring action. And the crowd screamed her famous "This is my house" catchphrase. Britt Baker responded by calling fans fickle. She then talked about the building the division up for superstars like Saraya to show up. Baker then took shots at Saraya and said that she was everything the former WWE star wants to be. Baker then reminded Saraya about her departure from the WWE. Saraya replied that Britt Baker had been handed everything while she had been in pro wrestling for 17 years. She competed in every major arena and show and claimed the upcoming bout between the biggest duo at Full Gear would be Baker's biggest match. Baker tried to hit a cheat shot on Saraya but stopped her and hit the Page turn as she walked away to end the segment as an angry Baker stayed in the ring. And yeah, there's not much more you can say. The storyline was all very good. Looking forward to that match at Full Gear, obviously. But I'm just so happy for Saraya finally being able to get back in the ring. Hopefully it's all safe, which I'm sure it is. No reason to doubt it. And yeah, I'm just so happy for her and can't wait for that match at Full Gear between these two because it's going to be great. And Saraya is back, allowed to compete. Great news. It was then time for Jay Lethal, who was in action against Trent Barretta. Lethal attacked Trent before the match even started. Lethal had the advantage in the early going and something thing. Sonjay Dunn walked out. He then worked on Trent's knee, but the latter countered. He had a knee breaker and Dragon Screw combination as Danhausen and Chuck Taylor came out of the ringside area. After a back and forth between the two, Trent hit a DDT for a 2 count. He then looked to hit Storm Zero, but Dunn distracted him. Danhausen also got up on the apron and cursed up, but something thing looked out at him. Lethal took advantage of distractions and hit the Lethal injection for the win. Post-match, Sonjay and Jeff Jarrett to the crowd. The latter said that he was a friend called He Showed Up. Jarrett then brought up his history with Dutt and Lethal, and Hart saying he even took a shot at Braun Strowman. He vowed to terrorise his opponents in AEW and chased away an official to win the segment. Kind of just a match and a segment to get over Jay Lethal. I don't know, it kind of felt unnecessary. I think all the crowd probably know about him already. I wasn't massively in favour of this. Just felt like maybe we could have used the time a bit better when we're just a few weeks away from the pay-per-view, to be honest. Gets a 5 out of 10 from me. Mox and Regal were next out and came out to a great ovation. Mox then brought up their history and said that MJF reminds him of the purveyor of violence. Moxley added that he comfortably defeated MJF in their first match and the same outcome is expected at Full Gear. He took shots at him before calling a pillar and having the moniker of the devil. Mox then vowed to make things difficult for MJF at the upcoming Full Gear pay-per-view and walk out as the world champion in the latter's hometown. Really good promo by Mox to respond to MJF. Like I said, it's just getting me more and more hype for that match. Both of them are great in the mic, both of them are great in the ring, it's just going to be such a good match. I guess next week we'll get a face-to-face confrontation between the two of them, but here I don't think there's any denying two really good individual promos behind the two, between the two, to get us all hyped for that. But anyway, next up was Jamie Hayter versus Sky Blue. Both squared up in the middle of the ring. The action spilled to the outside as Hayter dropped Blue on the guardrail. However, Latta retaliated by sending her opponent into the steel post. Blue hit a big strike in the ring, but a distraction from Britt Baker allowed Hayter to get the upper hand. Blue fought back with 4 on strikes and a drop kick. She took out Baker and Reba and hit a crossbody drop on Hayter for a 2 count. Towards the end, Sky Blue hit Cobra for a 2 count, but Hayter rolled her up for a 2 count, followed up with a fast kick. Then out multiple chops. Blue was on Hayter's shoulder, but she dropped her opponent and hit the ripcord lariat to pick up the win. This gets a 5 out of 10 from me as well, to be honest, because it's to build Jamie Hayter up. Did it work? It did in the cage. Probably should have been a squash match, but it kind of already feels like the second women's match on the card, really, and that should be the case for the belt, but there we go. But anyway, next up was Danielson versus Guevara in a 2-3 falls match. Danielson with some early offense on Guevara. He hit some chops and fight out with uppercuts and kicks. Danielson was in control with his chops before two men whipped each other into the corner. Guevara retaliated with a drop kick, but Danielson hit a shotgun above his own. Guevara moved outside as Danielson attempted a high flying move as Tay Melee stopped him. Guevara took advantage and hit a chair shot in the face, but Danielson got a pinfall DQ victory. Guevara took a microphone and jammed it into Danielson's eye socket. He then hit an elbow strike before taunting Danielson and the crowd. He unloaded on Danielson with elbow strikes and punches as the latter was busted open at this point in the match. Danielson tried to make a comeback, but Guevara stopped him and hit the GTH to get the pinfall 2 victory. Guevara continued his momentum then and hit a series of uppercuts and chops. At one point in the match, Tay Melee dragged the referee out during a pinfall, causing her to be ejected from the ringside area. Guevara targeted Danielson's eye, but the latter retaliated with a tree of row. Towards the end, Guevara tried to connect with the GTH, but Danielson hit the Psycho knee instead. Guevara countered with moonsault DDT, but Danielson hit an elbow strike to the jaw. He locked into the bell lock, and Guevara finally tapped to give Danielson the victory. This gets an 8 out of 10 from me. A really good match. 2 out of falls match. Love the storyline as well with Guevara classic heel antics. Danielson, the babyface, never giving in. It's just really good from start to finish, and a really good match. Danielson getting the win. I think it's the right decision. Gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Great stuff. Overall, Dynamite this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I was debating between giving it 6 and 7. It was kind of a really up and down show, this one. There's a really great match on there. Last match. The promos are really good, but then you also had some down points in the show, I would say. Some of the booking was a bit questionable. bit unneeded. The women's match wasn't that great again, so yeah, it's a bit of a mixed show to be honest. But anyway guys, that's that video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate, comments down below, and follow this show for daily wrestling news and subscribe to the channel, would be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.